Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. And you guys, I've been waiting for my special guest. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time, but it's okay. I know everything happens when it needs to happen, but you guys know how I do things. Before I tell you who this person is, I'll give you a few things, and I only mean a few things that she's associated with. One, she's a mother, a wife, and a sister, and we love family, so we have to big up family. Second, she believes in her tribe. We'll find out more about that. And third, but definitely not least, she's a legacy builder. So you guys, please put your hand together and welcome my sister, Joyce Barrow Henderson.
I am so excited. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for having me on. I always stand in awe of you. Whatever you put your mind to, girl, you make it happen, and it is beautifully done always. So thank you so
Oh,
much. You honor me for even, I would have been happy just cheering you on behind, but just you honor me with allowing me to be here with you today.
oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And thank you for saying yes to me. Any of my guests that says yes and come on to my platform, I'm very honored. So I thank you and I appreciate you.
Oh, no, thank
So
you.
let's get started, sis. We're going to do this. We're going to have fun. We're going to do what we do behind the camera, in front of the
No,
camera.
there's no tears today. I don't even have the right clothes on. We are not laughing until I have to run to the bathroom. We're gonna settle down today. We're gonna act like we have some manners.
Okay. I agree. So, one thing I ask my guests, I ask all my guests, what makes you tick? What makes you boil?
So I'm gonna say 1000% is gonna be my family. 1000%. Um, and what got me to the point where I could even get a family was the Lord. So always Him first. Even when I didn't see Him and I couldn't feel Him. I can remember my mom just saying, you know the trick is believing that it's already done, believe
Mm,
you won. So I think, I'm old, half a century old. I
no, we
still
don't claim that.
I still, or half a century wise, I still have to remind myself that, you know, God says, that He has plans for me, plans to prosper me, not harm me. So I have to always remember that even when I don't see it, He already had the plan. So I don't see the plan. I don't know how I'm making it out. He already has the plan. I got to trust the plan.
Yes. I always say trust the process. Same
Yeah.
thing like trusting the plan. I love that. What a good response.
Yeah.
So, I typically ask my guests a question. Tell me a lyric of a song that has either blessed you, given you perspective on life, or distracted you. But before you answer,
Uh-huh.
there's rules to this.
Okay.
If you can sing, I need you to sing your throwbacks out.
That would
If
have had to been done with some glasses of wine, and you did not say this is in the morning, so we should have rescheduled this.
Well, it's two
Go
more
out.
other things. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint, sis. But if you cannot do either one of those, you need to say what you say with bold meaning and 10 toes down. We got to feel it. So, can you identify a song that either blessed you, distracted you, or giving you perspective?
There is a song that is by Israel Houghton, and it's um it's Where Would I Be Without Your Grace? And
Mm,
it's more like a prayer. So it's kind of feels like he's more chanting it. And my younger son was in the hospital, and he was only 10 days old. And I can remember singing that, like, where would I be if not for your grace? Carrying me through every season. Where would I be if not for your grace?
Mm.
And I could remember holding him and singing it gently in his ear and just knowing that it was going to be okay. Just
Yes.
almost, I mean, at the beginning, you have to know that I was a mess, but just singing it over and over again, almost to the point where, I don't even think we were there. We were floating because I
Wow.
was just that, you know, I just, I was just that scared. I think again, we talk about motherhood all the time,
Yes.
the trials and the ups, the downs, and the laughing and that I would never share with anybody else. Those kind of mistakes. But I never really understood unconditional love until I gave birth to a child, until I looked at that face and thought, "Yep, I'll go to jail, I'll die, and then um, you know, one of my aunts said to me, and now think how much more does God love
Ooh.
them than you do?"
Mm.
And I was like, okay, now I understand the love of God. Now I do.
Yes. Yes.
So that
Yes.
that and sometimes I'll even go back to it if there's a real scary time, just to kind of try to settle myself down. I can still hear him, and like I said, it just sounds like a prayer he's singing.
Can you give us a few of the lyrics if you can remember the lyrics?
So it's, where would I be if not for your grace, carrying me through every season? Where would I be if not for your grace? You came and you saved me. Oh man, you came and you saved me. You came to my rescue. And Lord, I thank you. I thank
Mm.
you for your grace.
Yes.
And then so it
Yes.
prays like a river. And
Mm.
then, he harmonizes and kind of riffs through some of it, but it's just you he's tarrying to the Lord. Like he's pleading with him. And it's rich.
Mm.
It's just good. It's just good.
Yes.
That, and take me to the king always works too. I don't got much to bring. My heart is in pieces. That's
Okay.
all I'm offering.
But
She
you know what?
she can
That
squeeze me on
right
down.
there, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What you're singing, you're talking to someone that's standing in the spot where you were.
Mm.
And this conversation is penetrating their heart and giving them something to say. I will survive.
Yeah,
I will get over it. I will come through.
yeah,
And just by you sharing that really tender moment you had with your son, 10
mhm,
days old,
yeah.
that right there is blessing someone because you choose to share that special, that sacred moment. So
Oh,
thank you.
no, thank you for allowing me. I say this too, is one of the things that I think getting older has provided me is perspective in a way that, I mean, I don't think I could have sat in church and got it. I don't think, I just think that life brings it. Is like if you're waiting for life to get easier, it doesn't. It gets harder. And what we have to do is get better at harder, because anything that comes easy, it ain't good. It ain't
Hmm.
worth it. You don't want it. So we just got to get better at getting through. And if these little songs or this little conversation does that for someone, all glory goes to God. But I mean, if we really think about it, there's nothing that we've been through. If you just think about just sometimes getting your kids out the door, that ain't easy. But boy, when they get out the door, that is a blessing. Right?
Yes, hallelujah. Yes.
Right.
I,
But it is really that we're always, and I think that we're also trying to, me and you talk a lot about the raising our children, is that we're trying to teach them that nothing is easy. Like when they're complaining about it's hard, but we've made things easy as mamas. We're prepared and we have this, and oh, you forgot that, and we're pulling it out of our Mary Poppins bag, right? But the truth of the matter is that they're born for greatness
Yes.
because they came through us and
Come
they have
on.
a purpose.
Yes.
Nothing's going to come easy. And there are going to be times that we're not there. And the only thing we have to tell them is sometimes things are hard. So you know what you got to do. It's time to dig in and you find them 2 songs and maybe you need to, you know, sing your song, whatever that is. It ain't
Yes.
be Take Me to the King. I don't even know.
It may be a little different, but that's what I love about music. It is your own intimate relationship with it and how you choose to use it to satisfy your spirit and your soul.
Yes, it was so, listen, just getting kind of prepped just to talk to you. I was like, my heart was singing. I was so excited. I was like,
Mm,
he's always just a freaking genius to just know how to like tap in. There's nothing like what you've just created here that doesn't, I mean, takes people right in. Like
mm.
it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Since you're handing out compliments, I was going to wait. And I'll send you your check in the mail, but I want to bring up something. Years ago, you said this to me, and I use it to this day. Actually, this is part of the process for
Mhm.
me to even get to the process of this podcast.
Wow.
And I'm going to throw it out to you, and I want you to tell me where you actually got this for.
Okay.
How do you eat an elephant?
Martha
I
Lewis.
love that. I use that with me. I use that with my children. Where did you get that from?
So that was my mom, Martha Malone Lewis. Um,
Mm,
she she's she's gone. Um, Heaven's richer for it. She was born 1918. She say the year the Titanic sunk. So obviously born in a time where it was not easy to be a woman of color. She's just a very powerful woman, and I don't think that she really understood no. I think that no just meant nothing to her. It was just a word, and she was going to figure out how to get what she wanted.
that part.
Yeah, she had a lot of nuggets. We used to call them pimp talk, like because we didn't understand. Because we didn't understand. The tip. She did all the typical. Don't let my good air out. Don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't look at. All of those. Typical ones. But she came up with some like doozies, and how do you eat an elephant was one of them. That one bite at a time
Yes.
made it then possible. Um,
Yes.
and again, perspective and perspective through aging or through wisdom that becomes so much sharper.
Absolutely.
Than how do I eat an elephant? And that's just picking up your toys when you're like,
Mhm.
this is just too much for me. I mean, oh, then you're like, well, how do you know? But she wasn't picking them up. Okay, that wasn't happening. Everything has its place and it needs to be in it. So
Yes.
that was what it was. But again, like you said, when we were talking about it, we had what looked like to be some insurmountable things. Like they would drop in on us some stuff and you'd be like, okay, but usually that takes about 18 months to 2 years to do, and we're just blinking, you know, and we would just suck it up. And that's what came to mind. My mom just beat insurmountable odds in so many ways. She was the first Black woman attorney in the state of California, the first Black
Wow.
woman to own her own law firm and land in Beverly Hills. She was Jimmy Hoffa's attorney and Kirk Corcoran's attorney at the same time.
Wow.
So she was pretty
She
bad.
was bad, bad.
Yeah,
She
she was
wasn't bad. She was bad, bad.
yeah, she was bad, bad. And she would pull that kind of stuff on us. Like, if I would have come in and just said, like, I can remember my cousin came in, she had not studied for like her driving test, and I'm little, and she had just turned 16, and my mom bought her a car, and she was like, I don't have, Aunt Martha, I don't have my license. She says, oh, I know, we're going to date, we're gonna leave, I need you to get change out your uniform. We getting ready to go to the DMV and take your test. She's like, I haven't studied it. She said, girl, here's the book. You can ready to pass this test because you be able to drive and help me out around here with these kids. And she says, Joyce says, they don't know how I did it. It's just that she said I was going to do it and I did it.
That part. That's the power of a Black woman's energy. It will take you over and command you to do right.
Yes. Yeah, but you have, listen, you have that. Like you have been here before. Like your soul is so rich and you bring that type of, like, I can't tell you how many times you just said what we were going to do and we did it. And I'm thinking in my brain, like I'm fighting with myself, like, girl, you crazy. No, let me say, we get ready to get our stuff and this get ready to be on and it's gonna look good too. You know, like it's it's also a sisterhood, you know what I mean? And when you channel it right,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
When you come and deliver yourself to the world with good intentions, you're able to actually act like your gift. Like you, again, I can't tell you what you've done here is brilliant because this is a gift that I've had for years. And now you get to give it to people everywhere. But you have a way of just saying what it is, and it is so, because there's just so much confidence that exudes out of you. And I know, I know you come from great stock, your mama and your grandmama. We
Yes.
exchange our stories and be in there giggling and sniggling, but there's just so much power in that. And I don't think that we as women, we as Black women especially, because we're always fighting those negative imageries, the negative thoughts we have of ourselves, which I believe is the devil's favorite thing to do. Like it's the oldest trick in the book. He told Eve the same thing, and we still listen. I don't have nothing to say to Eve because you know what? He tricks me the same daggone way every day. Every day I'm saying, you're good enough. You're a good mom. You're a good wife. You're smart enough. You're skinny enough. You're pretty enough. You can do. And when we come together, because there's nothing more powerful than when we come together. But when we're
Girl.
out here on our own, we're battling that negativity and those negative thoughts all on our own, only grasping onto these lyrics or a memory here and there, which again is a blessing from God and genius. But when I can't tell you how much more blessed I am for the sisterhood and the friendship that I have that hold me up.
Yes. I think that we have to get to a frequency that is so high that nothing can touch you. And what I mean by that, your frequency is your frequent behavior that turns into your frequency. My perspective. So we have to continue to elevate high because we're gonna have some things down there yipping at our, but that's little stuff. You just like, okay, I'm keep moving forward. So I thank you for that. Yeah. You're making it about me and I'm trying to make it about you.
It's the company you keep though. It is the company you keep. And it's about us though.
Yes.
I think you have to hear what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make it just about you, but part of who I am is a gift of our friendship. Like iron sharpens iron. There are certain things that, once we became very close, I just didn't do no more. Like they shook away, and certain things that I picked up and certain ways of thinking and watching you do. And anybody who's human says, well, if my sister can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
I think that's how kids learn to walk. They see,
Yes.
or go to the bathroom or anything else like that. We watch it by imitation. It's the most sincerest form of flattery. But I'm just saying it is, you start to build confidence by watching your sister sometime go first.
Well, I believe in sisterhood. I've always believed in sisterhood. My mother was a prime example. My grandmother, I'm thankful. I shout out all my sisters, meaning biologically and spiritually. And I'm just so thankful to have that because I would not be sitting here if it was not for the sisterhood. And it's been some really great men as well. But right now we're focusing on the sisterhood. With that being said,
Mhm.
Let's talk about, or before we do that, let's honor your mother. I
Yes.
believe when someone has passed on a physical, we do them a disservice if we don't say their name. And we have spoke about her
Mhm.
and how brilliant she is. Let's say her full name out loud.
Her full name, Martha Malone Lewis. Well, probably Barrow too, but she never used Barrow.
Really?
Never, never.
She
She
was like, I'm bad all by myself.
listen. So she picked up. Absolutely took my dad's last name, Lewis, but that wasn't his last name. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But she never used it, even in her law firm. She was always Martha Malone Lewis.
Oh,
Always.
wow.
So and I know, like, because I was very young too when my mom passed away, but I used to. I think I hope everybody does, and I'm not just telling myself, master my mom's signature just in case I forget it.
Yes.
I got really good at my mom, so good that my brothers would be like, "Hey, can you sign this?"
Well,
I couldn't master my dad's, but my mom's I got.
wow. Well, we have to do what we got to do.
Sometimes, girl, to escape them butt whoopings, I sure would.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Let's talk about your perspective on hard times. You gave us a little bit about it, but what have you developed over time to say, this will not tear me down? I will continue to go forward. And you gave us a hint of that at the very beginning. But what's in your secret sauce in your bag that you pull out to block the naysayers?
So I will say this: that again, perspective and time. You're able to kind of look back over your life, right? Is I did a lot of things afraid, like I did it anyways. Um, and I hate to say that, but I'm gonna wrap it back up because afraid seems like a weak word, but it wasn't. I did things brave,
Mm,
and it wasn't until Nia said that to me that she corrected me. She was like, "No, you didn't. You did it brave because when
wow.
people do things scared, that means they're brave." And I was like,
Mm.
"Okay, girl." I mean, I'm already in love with you. I'm obsessed with you. And here you go. Nia's my daughter, as you know. But they go away to school one year and they come back and they're like this adult you're still your kid and you're trying but then when they throw some wisdom at you, you're like, what is happening right now? He's supposed to be doing this to you. But just doing it anyway. And then
Hmm.
really understanding that I was capable all along,
There you
right?
go.
And what now I admire about these, like Kennedy, Nia, Terry, is that they walk with that type of swag that we had to practice. That we were kind of like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, I got this. They don't
Yes.
know. They don't know what they're doing, but they just come in with this, like, I got it.
Yes.
I there's I have to stop myself of thinking like, man, where would I be if I really believed in myself like, they do at their age? And then I just have to shake that off. I'm right where God wants me to be.
There you go. Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
love that. I love that you said you're right where you need to be because guess what? What you don't know, what you've done for Nia, what I've done for Kennedy, we've given them tools and foundation along the way, and that's why they are who they are. So
absolutely. Even
don't
if we
forget.
did it like this.
Kennedy knows. She know her mama. All I got to do is give her a look. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, sister, let's get it together. You know what you made from. You came through this Stargate. And she's like, okay, mom.
Got it. Yeah.
Like, it's no more room for anything else. Let's get it together.
Wow. But that's why I was
But
just talking about you earlier. You'll shift that atmosphere in a minute, and you would do it to me all the time, and I'd be like, I don't think so. You'd be like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'd be like,
but that's the beauty. If we did not have a sister relationship, that would not be nothing. You'd be like, who is this? But because we had that give and take relationship, you were willing to say, okay, we're going to do it together and we got it done.
yeah, but discipline without relationship equals rebellion anyway.
Ooh, I
So
think you need to wait a minute. I think you need to say that again because that's a gem.
discipline without relationship equals rebellion. So you can't
Ooh,
come in and give me your feedback if we don't have a relationship. It's gonna just defensive. There's none of that. But that's why, again, going back to sisterhood, if we don't start out projecting that energy of sisterhood, um, because there's plenty of things that will in our atmosphere and in our culture that will dictate jealousy, competition, especially as women, and none of that has to be a thing.
I
We
agree.
control those things.
Hmm.
My sister wins, I win.
That part.
We
Yes.
we all win together. And for me, again, wisdom. I look back. My parents are. eh, I mean, they probably should have been my grandparents in by way of, at the age that I was given to them, but they were always very tribal. My mom was constantly giving, my dad was constantly giving. They were trying to connect people together. They did not gatekeep at all. So I
Mm.
think sometimes people don't know how to take me. They're like, is she really this nice, or she is a little bit too much? They don't know if it's
Mhm.
genuine or not, because life has just happened to them
Yeah.
and society has just changed so much.
Hmm.
But I feel like we're in this shift, and I feel
Yes.
like um just things around are changing. Our children think so differently, and they're moving more towards this collective and
Hmm.
connection and understanding that we are so much better together than we are divided.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the game changer. And for so long, we've been given those pieces of divide and it's kept us in multiple lanes. And when we realize, wow, we can come together. I've always been a believer from day one. Let's do it together. Let's work it together. Let's see what we can do. Okay, you go up front. Okay, we got you in the back. That makes such a difference. Like we can go through, we in whatever the best Ferrari rolling through when we come together collectively.
Yeah.
My perspective.
Yeah. And it's the truth is that whatever dog you feed the most is going to be the biggest. So when you
Yes,
said we got to bring up the vibration up here, that dog of jealousy, of competition, of not working together doesn't even exist because we
I
can't
agree.
even see it.
Yes, yes. You talking some good stuff. Keep pouring that wisdom out, sis. Keep pouring that wisdom out. With that being said, and talking about wisdom, let's go back to music. Music has turned me all the way out. And I mean all the way out in a great way, in a good way when I say that. So, can you identify a song that you sung as a child? I mean, you was ooh, and then you became adult. You like, wait 1 minute. I didn't realize it meant that or said that particular thing.
So listen, your friend Sean and I laughed about this before going to bed last night because I
Uh
was
oh.
reading him some of the questions. Sean is my husband, and Hallie made him our great friends. That's her nickname for him, and so now I've adopted it. Um, and he was like, he said, Joyce, you already know the answer to this one. And I said, what? He's like, Joyce, I'm just gonna give you a second. And we both said it at the same time. Anything, Rick James, anything. And he's like, and we started laughing. He was like, yeah, I can remember going down the street talking about, give me that stuff, that cookie, stuff, that sweet, that stuff, that sweet, that stuff, give it to me. And I was like, you know what? And he sounded like a little kid in his face. And I was like, you make me sick. I
Oh
can't stand you. We're
my.
crying. And
gosh.
it's so funny because think about it. You know what I mean? Like, she's American King Arab. You weren't there.
Yeah.
You weren't there. But I can remember I was leaving Winchell's Donuts on Desert Inn and Eastern.
Mm.
So I'm dating myself. And we were coming out. It was nighttime and it was cold. And you know, when you talked, it looked like you were smoking. And I did, and I was singing toot toot, ah, beep beep, toot
Oh.
toot, beep beep. She's a bad girl. And I felt something on like my arm come up and my and boom, and my leg did like this. And they were like, Martha, did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she was singing? I didn't know what I was singing. I was singing bad girl. Toot, toot. Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
again, I don't even think I didn't sing it again, probably. I and then I think maybe like, I don't know, just a couple years back, Nia was doing some like paper on lyrics and the importance of lyrics and sound vibration and how you can say things and you don't even really know. And I read the lyrics of these numbers and I was like, oh, that's why that happened.
Can you tell the audience what it actually means? Well, you know what the tutu was, right?
Yeah. Yes. Do you know what the tutu was?
Yeah, it was
I had to
calling the
understand.
it was calling the girls down so they can come get in the cars with the gentlemen. We'll
Yes,
keep it that way.
yes. She was a bad girl. Bad
Yes.
girl.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I don't think anybody has actually brought that one up.
Yes.
Wow.
That was the one for me.
And the Rick James one, that's a good one too. She's a very freaky girl. And if you're younger, you're just singing it, you don't think about it.
At all. Listen, give it to me. Give me that stuff, that sweet, that sticky. I'm just saying. How I'll wait
Oh,
to see how many people chime in to see if they knew that they were thinking that they were singing about.
yes. Yes.
And
It
here's the
makes
thing. Now, listen, and one of my songs on here is Carly B,
mm,
and she's singing about it like, but at 6 or 7.
yes. Yes. It's a total different, I had a previous guest on, and one of the songs that he brought up was candy liquor. And he said he would always like, oh, yes, he thought they were talking about candy.
Yeah.
He soon realized it was another kind of candy he was talking about. So that's music for you.
Yeah. You know what another one was? Now that we're talking is I didn't know what white lines was.
I have no idea.
So white lines. It's
Yes.
cocaine. We're talking about cocaine.
Oh,
Didn't know. Didn't know.
really?
And we were watching like the history of hip hop or something like that. And they're playing it and it's like, remixed and they played it, how many times it'd been remixed. And I was like, well, that's cool. And he was like, yeah, Sean again says, like, who would have thought that you were going to remix, 8 times White Lines, a song about snorting cocaine? And I was like, what? Snorting cocaine?
Wow.
What are you talking about? Listen, I was like 11 days ago, years old. When I heard that. Yeah,
Wow. Well, guess what? You have now schooled me because I had no idea.
crazy.
Wow. Wow. So let's talk about, I'm going to throw out some words and I need you to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me get it right. Joe Louis Greenway,
Oh,
Detroit. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I can. So let me rewind because so either a lot of people have no idea that that's my dad, and I've
Yes.
never had a lot of conversation around it. Um, and I can remember we were kind of talking and I kind of shut down a little bit. And you said, we do our loved ones a disservice by not speaking their name.
Yes.
And then maybe I was going through something else, like struggling on should I say, should I not say, and you said, we as Black people, we bury our heroes and no one tells their story. And that is not honoring them.
That's right.
And part of it was growing up, we always heard over and over again, this is what I did. Now you figure out what you're going to do. So that house was a house, like, if you weren't humble, they was going to get you right quick. Right? My mom used to say, going back to like the pimp stuff, she was like, pretty don't mean shit. It might get your ass in the door, but then what you going to do?
That part.
Like, so you better be smart. Okay.
Wisdom.
She would just lay it out. And so this season in my life is dedicated to keeping both of their legacies alive. And in May, my dad would be 110. And I know that's crazy, right? But the city of Detroit has honored him with a greenway. And what a greenway is it's a system of parks, of trails and parks. So a couple of years ago, they tore down the Joe Louis Arena, which was a big deal. That's where the Red Wings play, and where like all major concerts would be. And it was a pretty sad day in Detroit, even though they got the Little Caesars Arena. It kind of makes me laugh when I say it, but they've I mean, there's still like walls dedicated to him there. But the Greenway I love because it connects all the suburbs of Detroit together.
Mm.
So if you could think about, like, we're in Vegas, if we had a Greenway that had just trails and parks and innovative spaces that connected Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Southern Highlands, Red Rock, so that we could all, like, you could get around the whole city, and spaces where people can come together, which is my jam, where kids
Yes.
can walk and learn generationally, could maybe meet and even create someday with kids that they might not otherwise connect with, other than being on this greenway. It's the largest greenway in our nation.
Wow.
It's under construction. Um, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Wow. Do you have a date where it's actually will be open?
All the way complete. So we have one stretch is done, 9 miles.
Mm.
We opened that in October of this year. We are now in the planning stages of the activation, and the next 9 miles are being built. In that first 9 miles, they pulled out something like, it was like 27 tons of tire.
Wow.
And to hear the community come out, and we brought communities together. So communities came together. They elected their people to represent their communities. We went to Atlanta. Atlanta has a beautiful greenway. We saw what that looked like, and we came back and designed our own.
Wow.
And we're still tweaking. We're still deciding what actual physical structures will be on there. But to hear the first committees come together that were affected by the first 9 miles, to talk about being able to walk out the back of their house and see the greenway. One young lady said that her grandson was murdered at the end of one of these corners.
Mm.
And that now to see it it doesn't bring her the terror, but it brings her joy and hope.
Mm,
Like, I think that when you look at the history of Joe Louis, we can talk about historic fights, we can talk about breaking color barriers, but I think that what he's most proud about is his family. What he's most proud about is his community. You will, if you really research him, he was not playing about the Black community. A lot of people don't know how many times, he wasn't in the front of the march, but for sure he was moving anyways, and he moved with integrity. There's so many stories here and there that you don't hear about him. Like, he was enlisted in the army, and um, Jackie Robinson, number 52, 42, who went to break the color barrier in baseball, was court-martialed. My dad stepped in and was like, this is not going to happen.
wow.
And he was released and dropped all charges, and he went on to break the color barrier.
These
He,
are stories, not to interrupt you,
yeah,
but
no,
these are stories we don't know. And as I say all the time, you must tell your story, because if you don't tell it, who's going to tell it? Or
yeah,
someone will tell it in their own way. So
yeah.
you must continue to tell your story.
And I can't plead with you enough to continue to pour into me, because and give me that encouragement, because there are times where I'm like, I struggle. Like, is it relevant? He's 110, or should I keep telling this, or should I, or you know, just where my place should be, or will I be received? But with such divisiveness right now is where I think where the courage has come up, is that when you start to really see how horrible people can be, it's so important for us to highlight and focus in on how amazing people could be in
Absolutely.
such worse circumstances.
Yes.
So one of the things that I just learned about him, that I just was like, I mean, I already loved you, man. I can't even, which is crazy, right?
Right.
To say I'm learning new things about my daddy, you know,
Yes.
um, is that he was asked to go to South Africa after the IRS had kind of pillaged him, and
Mhm.
you know, and they offered him $1 million, and again, he needed it for
Yes.
sure. Like, they had took all of our college funds, all of everything, but Martha Lewis, that's another story. Um, he said no, because you will use me and make it seem like everything's okay there,
Mm,
and my people are not okay there.
mm.
And I was like, I just love you. Like,
Yes.
I wish I could just kiss your face off. I just love that integrity. I love,
Yes.
and again, when I was talking about kind of watching you and being able to emulate you, that's when it rises to the top. Like, yes, it's important for me to help people remember who he is
Yes.
for those reasons, because we do need those examples. We do.
Yes.
It's a practicing of it. It is a, if he can have that level of integrity,
Mm,
so can I, and so should
absolutely.
I. That aching that comes in our heart to, should I go this way or should I go this way? This way is so much more comfortable, though. And then
Mm,
that thing that pulls us this way is, yeah, I should go that way.
yeah.
And it's hard, because we live in a society where $1 million right now, I can hear people saying, he dumb, I would have took that, I'd have blah, 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 and I can't tell you how much more. I don't even know what word I want to use,
It's a
really.
spiritual elevation when you think of your people versus some money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he was blessed many times over because he chose to take what was right. He took the higher road. And more than anything, he said, what, you just gonna use me to make it seem like everything is okay? That is so pivotal. That's so important. That's an example for someone that said that's sitting right now today.
Yeah.
And they're going to listen to this and they they're going to be put in a situation, and this may be the catalyst for them to do the right thing.
Well, I hope so. That would bless me and continue to bless him.
Yes, absolutely.
Hopefully that we will have another opening of the next stretch in October of 2024. And maybe we can do something out there. You could come with me and we could do a live something. I don't know.
I
I'm
would
just throwing
love
things out there.
I would love to have the opportunity to do that. So if something comes up and it works within your schedule, let me know, and I would love to be a part of that. I again will continue to tell you. I listen, Sister Peggy, I talk about her. She is my moon, my stars. I wish someone would tell me or say they're tired of hearing about Sister Peggy. Too bad. So I need you to adopt that same energy, that same love. You talk about him with so much love behind the scene. Every time you get the opportunity in front of the scene, you better say something about your dad. So please say his full name as well, like your mother's.
Yeah. Joseph Louis Barrow. Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
I love it. I love it. We definitely have to honor our parents, and whether they were on a big screen or a small screen, it's necessary. We came through their Stargate. So, with that, with that being said, let's talk about your first music purchase on your own.
Okay.
Meaning you got your own birthday money, whatever. Nobody encouraged you and say, pick this, pick that. It was something you like, ooh, 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 I know what I'm going to do.
Okay, so I got goodies. And so let me just say this because I had a record player. I'm just like, and it had like the two cassette tapes at the bottom. Like I got that for Christmas, and
Nice.
I thought I was doing something, and I was in middle school. I'm just letting y'all know, and I got two albums that were purchased for me, but I I don't know if you want the CD that I bought. Like that,
Oh,
like when I had money, I bought me a CD.
yeah. Let's talk about the CD that you bought on your own. Nothing someone purchased for you.
Listen, it was Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation. Yeah, that was it.
Let's,
Listen, you can't tell me nothing about Janet, who is still stunning. I
okay.
mean, I'm like, can she come bite me? Like, can we get some vampire stuff happening? Because I mean, like she looks incredible and she's still performing incredibly.
Yes.
I mean, it was just the perfect coming of age. She just was bad as her body was bad. It wasn't a stick figure.
There you go.
You know, she was a black woman that was had hips and booty and boobies, and you just were like, yes, yes, yeah, that's me, yes, yes. And her voice was beautiful, and
Yes.
it she had all the highs and lows. She could get so sexy on you where you'd be like, okay, I like men.
Beautiful, stunning.
But then her music could be so like whimsical. Like you would feel like there's unicorns, and then there's just so, pay attention to me, the black cat, the
Yes.
principal, But
Yes.
anytime, any place, I was like, okay, what are we jamming?
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I like men.
That is so funny. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I played that till I couldn't. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it might still. I don't know. I don't know if maybe I repurchased it, but you could pop that in and start. Anyone can start singing to Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I don't think anybody has actually used Janet as an example for that particular question. My first episode, which is my 0 episode, I mentioned Janet and the song, and I think it was on that album. Funny how time flies when you're having fun.
Having fun. Come on,
Girl,
girl. Yeah. Say again, she could go from Girl Next Door to Temptress
yes.
to like, let's go play basketball, go around the way, girl. Like, I don't know no one can do that. No one can pull that off. Nobody. And listen, I love me some Beyonce is amazing. Alicia Keys, amazing. Sade, amazing. Like Whitney, amazing. I could keep
Yes.
going, but no one is as versatile to me in that, like, she could just do it. And
Yes.
to me, she was always still like a Black woman. Like, you could still hear her being like, look, you know, don't
Don't
play with me.
play.
Don't play with me. Or you could be like, yep, don't play with her.
Yes. We call that absolute magic.
Yeah,
She is magic.
yes.
And we want to clap Janet up. And Janet, if you hear this interview, we would love for you to come on, speak those things that are
Yes.
not as though they are.
Yes. Come on, Janet. I want to talk to you too. Invite me back on if Janet calls.
Look, we can
I'm gonna
interview
be on that
together.
couch with you. I'm gonna be like this. I'm
Girl,
gonna
listen.
talk. I promise. That's gonna be
No,
great.
you could definitely do that. I'll be like, you have any questions for Janet? But that's a true, again, going back to sisterhood, going back to the love, even though we don't know her personally, she
Yes.
has provided those vision of many different things. And that's another thing that I'm a big proponent of. We are pushed as women into one lane.
Mm.
They are 7 different lanes, and we should be able to go into the lane that suits us. So,
Yes.
with that being said, let's talk about high energy songs. I'm a big believer in high energy songs. Like, for example, you hear people go, happy birthday to ya. And then you get people in the crowd, they participating, and people you don't know. And next thing you know, you high-fiving and they your cousin and your sister. Do you have a high energy song that you either participated in or you watched the group participate?
So let me just tell you, this is the one that I wanted to beat you up over, because I was like, oh, this one, and then this one, and then this one. So what I came to the realization of is that it kind of precedes itself, right?
Mm.
Like, anything that kind of precedes itself will take me someplace where I was like, I was hyped with them. It had nothing to do with me, but I know the song and I'm in it. And it's like it's like uh bring them out, Ti, or like California love.
Oh, get
Everyone
it?
knows it, you know what I mean? Or you get Juvenile, doom doom doom. Everyone's like, hey, So, or like, here I go, or booty 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 everywhere. Like those, um like the ones you like, it'll shift everything. But then as I was going through all of those, I thought the one that, kind of, I don't care where I'm at, it is, and I know that it's doom 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 doom, whoa whoa, before I let go.
Yeah.
Doom, 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 doom. I mean, it just shifts. And
Yes.
while all of those songs I said before, I'm gonna be in a room and kind of vibing with, but there'll be little kids and older kids. Frankie Beverly are my people. Like, we're looking and we're like we get like, I see you see me, you see me. Like, after the song is over, if I was in a room full of strangers, I would go have a drink with them.
Yes.
Like, I might not go have a drink with bring them out, bring them out. I
Okay.
might not. I might not. It just depends. I don't know what's happening right there, but
Yes.
I definitely probably would say let's have a glass of wine with the person who we end up dancing together, because
Yes.
yeah,
Well, it's funny. The majority of my videos have pointed to Frankie Beverly
yeah,
and Maze. And I think it's no coincidence. They are just so timeless. I don't care if you're 5 or 45,
Yeah.
85.
Yeah.
You can relate to the energy and vibration of the song, and it picks you up and it gets you going.
It's just it is. It's just their energy. It's just the way in which he delivers. It's just all of it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just music. And one of the things that I think that I've done well as a parent is me and Sean both have done as a parent, as good parents, is we've given our kids such eclectic taste. So like, when songs come on, people are like, what, what you know about that? You don't know my parents. And it is because, again, this is such a brilliant topic, because it's music is the thing that can transcend time. It can
Yes.
take you, like, it can teleport you to different places and spaces. um and like, that's what I really love, that change the energy in the room, because I was like,
Yes.
it depends on where I'm going. Like, maybe I'm getting ready. I woke up this morning, I'm blessed. Like, you know I don't know what I'm going into. you know
Hmm.
am I going into a Mary J. Blige, like, woo, there it goes. You just don't know
Yes.
whatever I'm going into. For sure, there is something out there
Yeah.
for me.
Yes.
Get me ready.
Yes. And there's no boundaries. We want to put boundaries on it, but what you like is what you like, and what I like is what I like. The great thing is sometimes we come together and it's connected, and that just takes it to a whole nother stage.
So I took my mother-in-law, uh, who, she's my mother-in-law. Okay.
Yes. I
Represent.
love her energy. I love her
Yes.
energy.
Yes. We took her to see Nelly. And I mean, I got some videos. I'll show you a different time. But there was there were so many different people. Like, there was so many. We were next to this young white guy and his girlfriend, and he looked like he was dressed up like 1980s Ken, like the skater and dance with Mama, like, and she just was getting it. And the night was going, and it was late for her, and she was kind of quiet in the car, and we riding home, and she is from the Midwest, so I'm just kind of, she said, quiet. She says, did you know that white people like that? That white boy was getting it. Did he like Nelly? My Nelly got all kinds of fans. I said, yes, your Nelly do got all kinds of fans.
Yes.
She was blown away.
Wow.
But I mean, again, he had her moving. She
Yes.
she was getting it.
Okay.
I just love that, you know, eh, when we look across, and we can all come together, that whatever the song is or whatever, but that we are all together. We're all
Mhm.
singing in unison. That's why there's nothing like live music. There's nothing like
Yes.
a concert. There's nothing like that. I mean, I don't know anyone that can really sit here and just be like, it was just horrible. Just, I mean, like, at least, I mean, maybe there are. I just don't want to sit next to him. Oh, yeah, me and you know somebody that could do that.
Oh,
But we not. I'm not going to a concert with them.
no, absolutely not. Remember, we do high frequency, and we don't frequent with low frequency. But yes, we do know we have to have examples.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just made my heart happy, because, again, when we talk about generationally, there's also fear about us collectively as human beings. There's fear, and music can break those things,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
And I just happened to be a witness to one, and I thought
Yes.
that was pretty cool.
And that was a great example. When you say that, it makes me think. I was listening or saw this particular documentary where it was an all Asian culture,
Mhm.
and it was a rap group. Now, these people did not speak English, but when the rapper came up and said whatever he was saying, rapping, baby, They didn't miss a tone, a cadence, a style, every little whoop whoop. And that right there, if you can't see what music does, that was a prime example, along with what you talked about, where your mother-in-law got a chance to see, wow, it's other people that like Nelly just like me. And they may not look like me, but they're on the same frequency.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so much fun. I would do that all over again.
Oh, and look, you got a chance to have this bonding moment or this
Absolutely.
memory with your mother-in-law.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I must say to you that it has been absolutely amazing talking with you. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate you for saying yes to my platform. And before I get out of here, I always talk about the journey and the destination.
Right.
The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. We always have to have an area to celebrate. But when it's all said and done, we got to get back into that journey and we got to continue to learn and grow because that's what life is all about. So before we get out of here, I want you to please tell us about any upcoming events you have, any social media handles you like to talk about, or anything with your dad, any background information that you're doing, upcoming events, anything you'd like to share with my audience.
So I will be I'm part of the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership. I'm one of the executive directors. So
I need you to say that louder and stronger, okay?
I'm part of the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership. It's again one of a really large public-private partnership to help with the activation of the Greenway, and I'm an executive director of that. I'm super excited about that. This is new, just recently happened. Um, I have been working with my sister, May. Uh, she's been encouraging me. We don't have the other things up and running yet. Um, we are still in the birthing stages, so we're pregnant with it. So once we do get it up and running, I'd love to come back on and share some things with you guys um, and just get your blessings because again, I can't thank you enough for your love and your sisterhood and your friendship. It's got me through so many times from Asher's diagnosis when you got your vision and spoke into me. It gave me hope. And I was in such a desperate time, and I just can't. I wish thank you was how I felt because it's just so much deeper than that. But just your love and your friendship pushing me through. I just need you, and I'm so proud of you. And I hope that in this next step, you'll be a large part of that with me.
Mm.
So when it's all ready to go, we'll come back and see what we could see.
Yes, yes.
But the Joe
Well,
Louis Greenway, if you guys want to log in and just kind of see though, the Joe Louis Greenway, you can log on to Instagram and just type in Joe Louis Greenway. It also has its own Facebook page, so you can see what we are currently doing and what construction is done. It's pretty cool. What activations are happening. We're hoping for a women's event in March. We still have some things to kind of work out because it's a really quick turnaround, but please log on and take a look. But also take a look because I don't know that this should be the only Greenway. I don't
mm,
know. And not that it has to all be named after Joe Louis. That's not what I'm saying. I think that the concept of the connectivity is powerful um, and in both in the physical and in the supernatural, we
yeah,
need to be connected. And
yes.
those concepts and if our voices are not heard, we can't have our elected officials start to create those spaces for us. If we don't push that to be important, they're not going to see that it's important either. So I have to just advocate for outdoor spaces and places for us to gather and connect and come together because they're not going to create that for us if we don't even start the conversation ourselves.
Absolutely. I think that it is very important. Thank you for sharing that. And with that being said, if someone wants to reach out to you personally, like today, they're like, oh, I want to work with her in some form or capacity or encourage you or whatever. Do you have an email address that you would like to provide where people can contact you, or you're not at that stage yet?
So I don't have, I have my personal email, but I mean, it's Joyce L. Barrow at Yahoo if you want to reach out. But again, we're pregnant with this. So, it's coming. It's just, we spoke about God's timing,
Yeah.
and, you know, Halima, you're notorious for like, you not doing nothing half-assed. So, um, sister, that's in me. It's not going to
Yes.
come fast, but, you know, spring is when all things become new, and we're ready.
Yes.
So I'm really hoping for that to be our start date so that we're in line, and we're hitting it at the highest time of rebirth and new creation. So I'm really hoping for that to be our time,
Yes.
and we'll see how that works out.
Yes. Well, please, please, my audience, please put your hand together and thank our special guest, Miss Joyce Barrow Henderson. And before we get out of here, I always let my guests get the last word. But before you give us this last word, I must, for my men, I salute them, but for my women, I bow. So I bow to you. Continue on your track, and last words go to you.
Again, I just can't thank you enough for just being the woman that you are. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit about myself and my journey. I hope it does help somebody. I hope it resonates, and if it's not, tuck it away, and maybe you'll be able to share it with someone else. I wish nothing but blessings to you and yours. And just please keep being a badass.
Thank you so much, sis. And I will see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.
Even if I got to chase you.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.